Alright guys, welcome back to the final July 2014 ban list video. This is part 3, and we're just going to continue just, addressing cards that, I haven't talked about before, and, going through all your comments. So, uh, we're going to just continue this for every a day that is just a single day, which is just me and my opponent and just you guys. This will be the part until I'm finished done talking about all the parts, but it will not intrude on tag duels. Tag duels will still be just tag duels, so you don't have to worry about that. So, tomorrow there's a tag duel, and Saturday's a tag duel, and Monday there's a tag duel, so you won't have to worry about that. But for right now, any single day, like today, we will go ahead and be doing just another one of these parts. So I believe that this is actually part 3, so that's actually, this is Sunday. It's a Sunday. I'm sorry, I'm actually recording these and sitting down and talking them and just doing part by part by part by part, so it's fresh in my mind. So I apologize if I actually got anything wrong when it comes to dates or anything like that for Daily Duels, but this is actually Sunday, so I am using +1 Firefist, so I hope you guys enjoy that. These are more of the videos where you can kind of just listen to it in the background, just listen to my savory, hot, sexy voice, and just listen to me talk. But if you, for those of you who actually want to see some duels, you can go ahead and watch the video. I mean, I apologize that I'm not actually commentating and you're not actually getting a live video on my actual live reactions, but I hope you guys understand and cooperate with me while we go ahead and do this. So, last time we looked at Stanzi's cards, and today we're actually looking at some more people's cards. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get a two-parter or what, so I'm just going to try to work as fast as I can and get her done. Just get her done. So today we're looking at XX-Infantry card, and he stated, and he put it in a paragraph form instead of just kind of bullets, so let me go ahead and read what he stated. He stated, "We have to think that since we are entering one to a ban list specifically designed for Worlds, since the next legit meta change happens in September after Worlds." Not taking that in consideration, World will have its own ban list, so this ban list will pretty much have to do, like nothing like that, so I'm not taking that into consideration, so that's not a valid argument. Apologize for that, but like I said, if it's not this list, it'll be the next list, so we'll just move on from that. But he continues to state that we need to take a different approach to how Konami could possibly hit cards for World's meta. That's different. Alright. However, I would like your opinion on cards that could be hit. Example lists are, and let's begin. Gear. I already talked about that. It should be at 1. I've talked about it in part 1. So if you want to hear more detail about me talk about what I think about Gear, go ahead and go to part 1. Fire and Ice Hands, I already talked about them. I actually talked about them in part 2. I think that they should actually go to 2, and that's pretty much as far as that we should take them. They're not ban worthy, they're not at 1, that would be just ridiculous, them being at 1. 2 is fine, lower the consistency of getting them, and lower the amount of times they can summon them, and lower the amount of pops that they can get off. He wants me to talk about core archetype cards like Yamato, Gear Armor, Hookcake, and possibly Infernity Break. Let's take it one at a time. Yamato is the key boss monster of the deck, and when it comes to hitting cards in a set format, boss monsters are the last thing that Konami hits. So Yamato would probably be the last thing that Konami would hit. They'll hit, like, cards that summon from the deck, things that cause loops, searcher cards, and stuff like that. So even before Yamato would get addressed, the card that would actually go on the list. And the thing is that the Konami likes to put cards that have already previously been on the list and put them back on the list, because it's just an easy move. They already know. They already see what happens. So it won't be Yamato. I think it'll be Tenki. Tenki will probably go back down to 2, just like what they did with Heraldics Seal. Was at 3, put it back down to 2. They're going to do it with Tenki. They're going to put it back down to 2, and I think that's the extent of what they're going to hit. And after that, Bujins are continuing to be more powerful than the decks that they're currently trying to promote and sell, then they can go ahead and address them accordingly. But for this upcoming list, Tenki to 2 will just be the extent of that. No Bujin hit, that's it, Tenki to 2. And, some of you guys may not like that, but, it does lower the consistency a little bit, instead of having 6 Yamatos, now they only have 5, so, it lowers the chance of them opening it, and, sometimes when you don't open up with Yamato, the struggle is real when it comes to using Bujin, so just being able to lower the consistency, is enough of a hit for that deck. It's not the top-ist deck anymore, so, it's good enough to still warrant, getting addressed, but it's it's on the lower end. We're not, pointing fingers at it and being like Bujin, 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 Bujin. So we can definitely kind of step back a little bit from Bujin. It's just hit Tenki and just let you go. That's it. Gear Gear Armor. Hitting Gear Gear Armor would definitely hinder that way too much. The card that we should be pointing a finger at is Gear Gear Gear. I think that hitting Gear 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 would be enough. We can see how it does after that when Gear 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 is at 1, and we shouldn't have to address Gear Gear Armor and Gear 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 as well. So we go ahead and just keep it the way that it is, with just Gear 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 to 1, and then we'll just see how the deck does. Hookcake, I already talked about in the first video. With the whole Hookcake versus Angeli argument. You want me to refer that? Go ahead and go to part 1 and listen to me talk about Hookcake and Angeli and just Madolches in general. And the last card, he says, possibly Infernity Break, since personally Infernities get more of the power from their searchable back rows. Infernity Break almost reminds me of Spellbook of Fate to an extent. Plus you can banish breaks to power up more breaks. Other than that, just surprise me with your banlist choices. Well, the whole surprise you with the banlist choices, I apologize. It's just going to be cookie cutter. There's not going to be anything on the list that should shock you. I already talked about Infernities in part 2. I'll go ahead and refer back to that, where I pretty much stated that we can, once Soul Charge is banned, we can go ahead and see where Infernities stand, and it's going to be a shorter ban list, so we can go ahead and see how they stand, and if they continue to just be pains in the dick and just topping more than they should be, then we can go ahead and address it in that prize list. But once the deck pretty much just got hyped and overplayed just because of Soul Charge, because people are like, oh well, Soul Charge is one of the most broken decks that the Soul Charge can be played in is Infernity, so therefore people overhyped it and they continue to play Infernities that are strength in numbers, therefore they continue to play Infernities. So we can go ahead and see what happens to Infernities once we take that Soul Charge. Will it be, Infernities are still good, so let's continue to play it, and then we can address it if it continues to be topping and being the best deck and being hot shit, or we can go ahead and do the whole just Soul Charge ban. No one's playing Infernities. Okay, then I guess we did our job then. So we gotta kind of balance it. We shouldn't take the Soul Charge and smack him in the face with hitting something like Break. So we'll just leave it like that. Soul Charge being banned, and we'll go ahead and see that, and we can go ahead and come back to it in a later day if it continues to be a problem. And I think that's all that XX-Infantry stated. So we can actually get a two-parter in. So let me go ahead and see if anybody put something short. No, you didn't put anything short. Definitely not short. Oh my God, whew. Just lines and lines and lines and lines and lines of text. Like no. So how much time we got left? We're like 8 minutes in. Alright, so I think I found one, so we're gonna go ahead and do a two-parter in this part. So next one is YGO Beast 123. We're gonna go ahead and do your cards, and I know there's actually an order, but I'm gonna go ahead and just do his. It's just a little bit shorter, and I've already talked about some of these cards, so we can go ahead and do that. So the first card that you want to talk about is Bottomless Trap Hole 2-0. Hurts Pendulums and spam decks. I think Bottomless Trap Hole is a necessary evil. I think it's just one of those cards. Where once again at 1, it's just there. If you get hit with the Bottomless, at least it's only 1. Now I'm hearing something in the grapevine about people saying that Torrent or Bottomless should go up to 2. No. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. All 4 of them 1. Warning, Bottomless, Torrential, Compulse 1. 1. All 4 of them. And I know that Compulse isn't getting played as much, but it's still a powerful trap card when used correctly. And you're like, it's a neg 1. It depends on what you bounce. If you bounce an XC monster and they don't have the response to it, then you just plussed. So you gotta kind of weigh it. And definitely the card should just be at 1. Bottomless at 1. Despite it hurting Pendulums, they can address it when it comes, but I think it's a necessary evil. Pendulums aren't good enough to be, whether it be hindered or upgraded, it doesn't matter. So definitely just leave it alone. And like I said, don't rock the boat. We'll address it when it comes. If it continues to be a problem, then we can address it then. But for right now, no preemptive strikes. I said that same thing with Stanzi with the whole supply unit. That hitting Bottomless Trap Hole because it hurts Pendulum, that's a preemptive strike. So we'll just leave it the way it is. Bottomless hasn't been really shaking the boat. It hasn't been the trap card that's been hot shit. Bottomless has always been a good card, and it's sitting fine at 1, and we should just keep it at 1. Next card, Anti-Spell Fragrance. And I know where you're coming from this, where it's pretty much stops Pendulums. For those of you who don't understand, you have to be Anti-Spell Fragrance, where instead of, just playing spell cards, you have to set them, but Pendulum monsters cannot be set in the Pendulum zone, therefore it pretty much says, fuck you, you can't play Pendulums. Once again, no preemptive strikes. We can't really say that Pendulums are going to be the hot shit or not. We really can't say. For all we know, Pendulums can be complete shit, and for what I'm seeing so far, they're not going to be anything hot in the next upcoming format. So we can just go, a complete form without even Pendulums even, scraping the barrel of, competitive scene. So by, banning anti-spell fragrance because it hurts Pendulums, but then Pendulums probably won't even be competitive, what does that really resolve? No preemptive strikes, once again. We'll address anti-spell fragrance when we come to it. Now, if Pendulums start getting the hot shit, and that actually starts being the top tier deck, and that becomes the shit that Konami definitely wants to promote, then we can go ahead and ban anti-spell fragrance. But for right now, no preemptive strikes, we're just going to leave it the way that it is. Next card is DMOC 2-1. I already talked about that in part 2, so you can go ahead and go to part 2, and you can hear what I had to say about DMOC. I'm just going to go over it real quick. DMOC can come back to 1. Will it come back to 1? No, because Konami doesn't want to shake the boat. They just want to leave it to the way it is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Next, you said Bujin Yamato 2-1. You said this is the go-to card for Bujins, and something needs to get hit. That's the boss monster. I already talked about this earlier in this video, actually, where Yamato is the boss monster, and that's the last thing that gets hit. The first thing that's going to get hit when it comes to that deck is searchability. They really don't have any loops or locks. I mean, if you're really going to talk about locks, I guess you can kind of point finger at hair. But I think that they're just going to go for a card that's already been on the list. Go ahead and just go with set precedence. Just go ahead and put Tenki right back to 2. And that's probably the best that Bujins are going to get. So, I apologize for, people thinking that Bujins are going to get the dick and they're going to get their head chopped off, and Yamato's going to go down to 1 and fuck that nigga, fuck playing with yourself, fuck protect the castle. But I doubt it. They're just going to put Tenki down to 2, and that's as best as you're going to get out of this list. Next, you said Dragon's Shrine 2-1 hurts dragons. Like I said, it's another one of the decks that will go under the radar, So I do think that Dragon's Shrine getting hit would be a great hit for Dragon Rulers. I definitely think that that'd be a great choice, I mean, Foolish is that one for a reason. We still have Future Fusion ban. We're just trying to avoid these methods. Oh, we have Dragon Ravine ban. We try to avoid these methods of getting the Dragon Rulers to the graveyard, and then we have Dragon Shrine at 3. But I definitely think it would be a good hit, if it ever came to that, like if dragons were the top shit again, and we needed to look at and point at our fingers at a card to hit. I can definitely see Dragon Shine being the card to hit. Do I think it's going to get hit? No. It's too under the radar. It's under the radar. It's not the cards that we're really looking at right now. So once again, it's going to fly back under the radar. No Dragon Ruler hits. No Heretics. No Mythic Rulers, no Mermail. Those cards are too under the radar to really get hit. So definitely you're just going to fly on by. So I apologize if you want Dragon Shrine to get hit, but I doubt it. It's not going to get hit. Nothing Dragon Ruler related, so we're going to get another format Dragon Ruler. So if you're tired of getting your ass beat by just aggressive bash Dragon Rulers, just kicking your butt real quick, then put some soul, cross your fingers and hope that you get a Soul Drain. Debunk is a great card as well, and that's it. Next card, Gear 1. I already talked about that. I definitely agree. You said it's a 1-card Caesar, just way too good, and I agree. It summons from the deck. Coming from the deck is the most powerful thing that you can summon from, because you're just plussing, because you're just of course summoning from the deck. So you have +1 from Gear because you're using 1 card to summon 2, but also your deck thinning, which is also a great factor in Yu-Gi-Oh, because instead of you get your deck, the better cards that you can get more often. So it's just overall just Gear, just a great card. I already talked about it in part 1. So if you want me to go into more detail about, and go ahead and go to part 1 and watch it. Fire a nice hand to 2, too good at 3, and hurts hat. Yeah, like I said, we can go ahead and put into 2. I already think that they should be at 2, so 2 is definitely where they should be, and no more, no less, just 2. And I think that's as far as that Fire and Ice Hand are going to go. They're just going to be sitting on 2 for pretty much for the rest of their existence. Same thing with their brother Reborn Tengu, just sitting at 2. Next card, Artifact Sanctum to 2. I already talked about this in part 1. Artifact Sanctum is not going to get touched. It's too new. Definitely, and they're trying to promote it. And I know everyone's like, well, didn't you already say it was public? That's different. That's different. You know, they were already done selling spellbooks, and then they gave us Public of Judgment to kind of try to give them that boost. It's the same thing with Madolche, where they were done selling Madolche, and they give them the Angeli just a little bit more push, make their money, and then they were done. Artifacts, they're not done. They're not done. Artifacts are the new booters. That's their new money pot. They're going to keep selling artifacts, and then once they're done with artifacts and then they got their new cash cow, then they can hit it. So pretty much they're just moving on. They're just shifting. So, you know, artifacts are the new boojins. So we can hit boojins and artifacts are the new shit. That's pretty much it, you know. And they move on and they just want to make their money. It's just Konami, you know. What can you say? Compulse 2/2. Because there's other trap cards that are better in the game. It depends on how you look at it. I mean, Compulse is a very powerful card. You know, you gotta look at past formats. Compulse was hot shit when it's at 3, and it deserves to be at 1. It's one of those necessary evils. And you're probably thinking, like I already said, you're probably thinking, oh, it's neg 1. Well, you really gotta look at it. Like I said, if you compulse the right thing, you can plus. You know, saying, you know, that Compulse is shitty is saying like Pleiades is shitty, and Pleiades is good. I don't care what you guys say. Pleiades is good. So, you know, Compulse is good. It's limited to 1 for a reason, and it should stay at 1. There's no reason to put it up to 2. There's really no reason to actually move any of the back row. You know, there's no reason to move Bottomless or Torrential or Compulse or Warning at all. There's really no reason. You know, they haven't been shaking the game too much, you know, and we should just go ahead and keep it the way that it is, definitely. And the last card is Gear Armor 2/2. I already talked about this with, you know, XX-Infantry. You know, I think that putting Gear to 1 would be just enough hit just to see how it does. And if it continues just to be, you know, the hot shit, then we can go ahead and address it in a later list. So we got a little bit more time, so I'm just going to get one more person, and that is Metroid Fan number 1. And he pretty much only states one thing, and that's, well, he states two things. I can go ahead and get that over with. So he states, I hope MST gets limited again. So I am so sick of that card. Oh. MST is a necessary evil. You know, if you're gonna take my Heavy Storm, then at least give me 3 MSTs. I think that's just an even trade. I think that's fine. You know, you gotta use it wisely. MST is not really a card that you throw around. You know, just like I said, you go game of luck. Sometimes you open up with MSTs, sometimes you don't. So MST is a necessary evil. We just go ahead and keep that at 3, and it's create a card, and it should stay at 3, and it will stay at 3. So you don't have to worry about that. So apologize that you don't like MST, but it's gonna stay at 3. So sorry. And then I hope Metamorphosis gets freed up. I missed that card. I can't summon Neo Bubbleman without it. What does Neo Bubbleman have to do with anything? Metamorphosis should just stay banned just because of the crap that you can go ahead and fuse into. Because I'm going to give you a key example, and you're going to be like, nope, never mind, nope. Because you're probably thinking, like, what the hell can you do with Metamorphosis? You know, there's not a good fusion card you can go into. Oh, that's stupid. No, that's not. No. That's dumb. Metamorphosis can totally come back. Alright, I can give you 2 examples. So, you know, a lot of decks run a lot of level 4s, of course. So, how about I go ahead and Metamorphosis one of my level 4s into a Norden, and then Norden will go ahead and revive the monster that I just metamorphosed because, you know, it just got sent to the graveyard. So, you know, it's kind of like Insta-Fusion, except not even set up because, you know, I don't even have any level 4s in the graveyard because I just put a level 4 to the graveyard. So, alright, that's one example. Alright, how about Metamorphosis and turn, how about I turn artifacts, who are level 5, into Midrash? Yeah? Midrash, you know, one of the more powerful cards that's shaking the OCG because of how powerful it is. So, fuck playing Shadows. How about I just play, you know, Artifacts, which is arguably one of the most powerful decks. You know, troll the hell out of you, just go, you know, activate Sanctum, summon that, pop one of your cards with Morla, a Morla talk, and then Metamorphose it right into a Midrash. Awesome. Alright? So, I think that's enough examples for you guys to kind of shake your head and be like, you know what, never mind, let's just go ahead and keep that card banned, you know? Hope you guys agree with me on that one. So, this was part 3, and we still got a little bit more to talk to. Like I said, if you missed your opportunity to go ahead and comment, be sure to. I will go ahead and talk about any card that I haven't talked about already if I missed anything. And it's helping me go ahead and form my ban list prediction. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all the support. And I will see you guys in part 4. We're not done, guys. Thanks for watching.